Hey everyone, you're welcome back to the channel. This is Yuglo Fashion and thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's video, I'll be sharing the making of this shoulder pleats bubu dress. It's combination of adire and ofi. So please stay tuned and enjoy the tutorial. It's well detailed and it's beginner friendly. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do so, and also ensure you like and share the video as well. Thank you and stay blessed. This tutorial, I'll be making use of this ofi. Is 2 pieces, and also I have my adire here. You can see the adire print and rhinestone as well. This is Swarovski. So to the business of the day, I folded the fabric together and I noticed this is plain and I need to just cut it out so that it will not mess up the hem of my dress. So, and I proceed to do that. I chalked out everything and proceed to cut out this. So this is where I'll be starting my measurement from. I measure dress length and it's 58 inches. So I measured the 58 inches and I added seam allowance of 1 inch to make it 59 inches. So after marking the inches, I folded it into two and I have 4 foldings in total. So 2 foldings facing up and 2 folding facing my direction, and the other side is opened. Now for the neckline, I measured 3.5 inch for the width, and for the length, I first measured the length of the back. I used 1.5. After chalking that out, I proceed to mark the neckline of the front. You know, I have 4 foldings, which means I have both front and back together. So for the front, I used 6.5 inches and I gave it this slant shape and proceed to cut the two out. First of all, I cut the back out, the neckline of the back. So not to make mistake, I had to readjust the fabric. Then I proceed to cut it out. That is the front. After that, I placed it back. I placed the fabric back its normal position. Then I pick the edge here and notch it. So this will indicate where the shoulder is. Next, I placed my tape at the middle here to measure the circumference of the hip of my client, which is 48 inches divided by 4. That gives 12 inches. I added 2 inch, 1 inch for ease, then 1 inch for allowance. Next, I marked another 9 inches. This is because of the pleat at the shoulder. And after that, I cut out the excess fabric I have at the edge here. I will not be making use of them, so I just connect the lines, I make it straight, then cut out the excess, as you can see. Next, I proceed to the shoulder and I marked 1 inch after the neckline. I marked 1 inch. Then after the 1 inch, I proceed to mark 8 inches. You remember I added 9 inch extra after the usual measurement. I added 9 inches extra, so this is where the 9 inches is going to have its effect. So I marked 8 inch. Remember I've marked 1 inch earlier. So at the 8 inches, I marked the middle of the 8, which gives 4 inches. Then I'll be folding it. You know, it has pleats, so this is the pleats that I was referring to earlier. So after marking the pleat side, I proceed to open it up, and this is what we have. Next, I'll be transferring every measurement I have on the right hand side to the left hand side. I first marked 1 inch. I later marked the 8 inches and the 4 inches in between the 8. I marked everything. Now after that, I picked my pins and folded the 4 inches this way and pin everything down. Just ensure the chalk are placed well on each other. You know, it's 4 inches, that's why it's marked out. So the 4 inches is the one on top, while the 8 are touching each other. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Then I proceed to pin everything out right from the back to the front. So this is what it looks like. Then I proceed to grab my iron and iron the pleats parts out. Next, I proceed to the machine to stitch it down. You can see it's well stitched and I've removed the pins. Next, I pick the ofi or ashoke, either way. So I pick and I proceed to iron 1/4 inch on both sides of the ashoke. But first of all, I try to place it on the main fabric to check out where it will be attached to. So I try to set the 1/4 inch on top of it, and later I proceed to measure 9 inches from the plain pattern of the fabric. I marked 9 inch, I cut it out, then I ironed it together this way. So this gives me 4.5 inches at the end of the day. You know it's on fold, so I have 4.5 inches, and I proceed to place it side by side with the ashoke this way. So next I pin both the ashoke and the plain pattern of the adire together, and after pinning the two together, you can see I folded 1/4 inch before pinning. So after pinning the two together, I proceed to the machine to stitch both on each other. So, and after doing that, I proceed to my stoning machine to add my rhinestone. So you can see it's well joined. Next is just to set it well on my steam press. That's how to set your steam press. You put it at the last edge, which is the nailing, and you wait till the spray comes up. So now we are done placing it well. Next is to add my rhinestone. So I'll be making use of this type of picker. So we have different type of picker anyway, but this is the one I'm used to. So I'll just add the rhinestone. I proceed to add the rhinestone, you can see. Then after adding the rhinestone, the machine has come up, the spray is on, and I spray the water on it. So now my stone is well gummed on the ofi. Next, after doing all of that, I proceed to the main fabric again and set my ofi on the main bodies of the fabric at the middle, which is the neckline, and I ensure it's well placed on it. After setting it well on the main fabric, I proceed to pin it down. Then I ensure it's well pinned as well. There's no folding in between. Please, when you are pinning it down, just ensure there's no folding in between, because it will stress you trying to lose it again. So after pinning it down, next is I try to flip it over together this way and reshape the neckline. That is, I reshape the adire and the ofi I have on top. Having done with that, I proceed to cut out the facing of the fabric. So for the facing, I placed the remaining part of my fabric and I just cut out the shape of the neckline. Now we are done cutting. I pin the facing and the fabric together and proceed to iron the two together. And after ironing, I also placed my hemming gum. I folded 1/4 inch in from the facing, so this will give the facing good edge, good finishing. And I proceed to add my hemming gum. This is hemming gum I'm trying to add in between the facing and the fabric. So after ironing everything together, you can see it's well gummed. Next, I flip it over and fold it this way again. This is to mark our armhole. So to mark the armhole, I had to fold the 4 pieces on top of each other this way, then mark the shoulder width. So for the shoulder is 16 inches. The shoulder of my client is 16 inches, and I proceed to mark the 16 inches. You can see me trying to adjust the pleat there. That's because the pleat is covering the shoulder already. So I try to adjust it. Then after marking the shoulder, I marked another 7 inches down. The length is 7 inches. If you are used to my tutorial, you know I usually use 7 inches for the armhole. So I've marked the 7 inches and I cuff it out this way. And to cut it, I had to readjust the pleat so I don't cut the pleat alongside with it. Please readjust it, if not so you end up messing up the pleat side. So after cutting it out, this is what we have. Then I proceed to stitch the measurement allowance. After that, I proceed to the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I pick the remaining fabric, fold it into two, later fold into four, and mark the length of the sleeve. So for the length of the sleeve, I'll be using 20 inches for the length, and also I added half inch. This is because of the ofi. If it were to be our usual normal sleeve, I would have added 1 inch for the hem, but because I'll just be using the ofi to turn it down, flip it back, you understand, as time goes on in this tutorial. So, and I cut out the 20.5 inch I have. Next, I proceed to the upper side here, and I marked 2.5 inch at first, 2.5 inches. Later, I marked 5 inch, and later I later marked 10 inches again, and I connected the line. I rule it out very well so that you can see it properly. So at the 5 inch, that's the fullest part of our sleeve. So I marked the circumference of my client, that is 8 inches, which is 16, and I added 1 inch for allowance. And also here I marked the 9 inches I later got at the bicep, and also had 1 inch for slope. And at the upper part here, I marked 3.5 inch, and I'll just cuff it to the 1 inch extra that I have here. I don't know how best to explain this, but please bear with me. Just follow whatever I'm doing here. I have a lot of videos on how to cut sleeve, so you can check out the videos if you don't understand this. Next, after that, I proceed to mark the elbow measurement, and I have 7 inches, which is 14 divided by 2, and also I added 1 inch for allowance, and proceed to the wrist or the hem line here, and I marked 13 inches. That side is not firm, neither of the inches are firm, so I've added that to the measurement before I measured my client. I've measured the sleeve not to be too firm, and I also added 1 inch for allowance at the hem here. So I proceed to cut out everything this way. Now our sleeve is ready. Next, after cutting it out, I have these two parts. It's on fold already, so it's still joined together. I had to separate them. After cutting it out, I picked the remaining ofi, then place it on the sleeve, and cut out the same shape I have at the hem of the sleeve. So I cut out the same thing. So after cutting, I'll be using this, like I said earlier, to turn the hem of the adire. So this is how to go about it. Just place it on each other like this, then pin the two together. You can see I pinned from the wrong side. After that, I proceed to the machine to stitch. Then after stitching, I later top stitch it on the side of the ofi so that it will relax well. And after stitching that, and I also iron 1/4 inch at the hem up here, and I proceed to the machine to stitch it. You can see the 1/4 inch. So after stitching, I also stitch the allowance at the sleeve. So this is the result after stitching the 1/4 inch and also the allowance. This is what it looks like. Next is to pin it to the armhole. So I proceed to do so, and after that I stitch the two together with my machine. And please, when you're stitching, just ensure you did not stitch the pleats alongside with it, because you have to lose. And in case if you mess it up by cutting it, that means, I don't know how to explain, you've ruined the clothes. So thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Please like and share, and also subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. Bye.